Hello, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to be talking about Xbox again. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started with this. So, as you know, we are exactly 1 day away from 9 months the Xbox Series X has been on the market. And today, we got another free upgraded game. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, that originally launched on PlayStation 4 as an exclusive, well-timed exclusive. I believe it came to Xbox 6 months, maybe even a year after that. And when it did come to the Xbox, it was already, I believe it was Xbox One X enhanced. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting. I love the fact that Microsoft is going back and touching up older games that I mean, it's not necessarily that they really need it, but the fact that they're willing to go back to something like the first like Hellblade is amazing. This gives me hope for games like Rage 2 and other games that I've bought and that I would love to see some sort of enhanced version come out of this. I'm grateful for this. Like, you don't even know. Like, I feel like my Xbox Series X purchase has already paid for itself 3 times over, and that's including the extra memory card, as well as the Xbox Series S that I bought for my daughter. I already feel like I have received more value than I've paid for when it comes to the Xbox, because normally all of these games, if they were PlayStation first-party games, yeah, dude, we'd be paying for these upgrades, man. $10 a pop. Like that really sucks, and I wish that PlayStation would do something like that. I mean, we went over this a while back, you know, about gamers Microsoft giving out free upgrades, making gamers feel entitled. That's just not the case, man. I feel like this is in this market, in this day and age, with digital video game purchases, this makes sense, and this is something that Sony should probably jump on board and do for that. I mean, to this day, you know, I mean, we got Ghost of Tsushima, an upgrade coming out here in, what is it, 11 days. I'm excited about that. I'm not gonna lie, I want to play that with better visuals and in 4K resolution, and you know, all the bells and whistles that are gonna come with that. That does intrigue me. Like, I would love to have that. Next month we're gonna have the Death Stranding Director's Cut upgrade, and these two things, like, I want them. I want them pretty bad, but at the same time, like, Microsoft is just killing it with these upgrades lately. Like, I don't know. I mean, we get FPS boost that automatically enhances the frame rates on some of these older titles. And if you have a nice OLED TV that has a good upscaler, I mean, this Vizio that I've got, nice upscaler, it works really good. You put in something like Dark Souls 3 now that has 60 frames a second with auto HDR, and a good upscaling TV that makes it look nice and sharp and crisp, that game looks great now. Another one, like Watch Dogs, I put that one in there. That one looks a lot better, playing at 60 frames a second. You got Watch Dogs 2. There are just so many games now that have been either upgraded by developers, or they are taking advantage of FPS boost, or they've got the enhanced, 4K. They have auto HDR. Like, Microsoft is knocking it out of the park with these free upgrades, and like, I find that value to me to be far greater than having to pay $10 for another upgrade after I've already put, I'm over $1,800 into the PlayStation 5 at this time right now. I would say I'm well over like well, maybe close to probably about $5,000 since the Xbox Series X launched till now, buying new games, because I've been buying all my third-party games on the Xbox. So if I added all of that up, I'd be about $5,000, and I feel, well, okay. So if I'm $5,000 in there, then clearly the free upgrades have not paid for it like 3 times. Like that's, but that's how I feel inside. I feel like I've gotten so much value out of, well, yeah, because if I put all the games in, if you take out just the systems and everything else, just the consoles, the memory cards, and the peripherals that I bought, yeah, dude, these free upgrades in my opinion, have already more than, you know, because even the FPS boost, if you go to FPS boost, the free next gen upgrades, out of HDR and everything, and you span that across every title, and you say $10 upgrade fee for each one, yeah, dude, I've got over 100 games that have already been touched by one of these free upgrades in one way or another. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling pretty spoiled with the Xbox and the Xbox ecosystem as of late. Like, I don't know, it's kind of been that way since the beginning, you know, of the Xbox Series X generation, because all we really had to play was old games, upgraded old games, and new third-party games that were coming out. And I mean, Microsoft was up front. They were upfront about that, so that definitely took a lot of the edge off, you know, in feeling like we're not getting anything for this new game. But then they go and drop, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator the other day, and like I'm still entrenched in playing that game, thinking about it every day, thinking about it all the time. I've just had so much more time on my Xbox than I have had on my PlayStation 5. So every new free upgrade that we get just makes Sony look a little bit, just makes them look a little bit worse. I mean, there's no way around that. I mean, like, we're at 9 months now, basically tomorrow. We're at 9 months, 9-month anniversary since the launch of the Xbox Series X, and I have had mine every single one of those months from the first day. I feel like my I mean, here in a couple days, I'll have had my my PlayStation 5 for exactly 6 months. So, at the end of the day, like, I mean, yeah, this new update, the beta for the PlayStation 5, has definitely had me on it a lot more this weekend. I completely, you know, I admit that. You know, I've literally been on my PlayStation 5 a lot more this weekend, and I've been enjoying my time there. I have been going back between games that I own on both consoles and looking at them and checking them out and doing like little analysis in my own head, you know, which one's looking better, which one's not. And I mean, for the most part, it's pretty freaking close, but that still does not sway me to go back to buying all my games, all my third-party games on the PlayStation at this time. Like, it still doesn't give me any reason to go back to buying those games on the PlayStation. I feel like my money invested in these video games will be far better appreciated and taken care of in the long run on Microsoft's console. You know, the way that they've made it easier for developers to upgrade these games and bring us these enhancements has made it so that I feel like my investment in that ecosystem is more likely to be respected, and you know, I'm more likely to get more value out of that initial purchase, because I buy these games day one. So when I do buy them, yeah, and I buy them digitally, so that it makes it so much better for me, because there's no getting rid of these games. There's no taking them back. There's no trading them in. So yeah, when I buy my games nowadays, that comes with a commitment, a lifetime commitment. You know, well, as long as I have it on a hard drive in a system that can play it later in life. Yeah, but the fact that Microsoft is more willing to bring those experiences forward to their next consoles, that's a major selling point for me. That automatically makes it easier for me to justify buying those games digitally on their ecosystem. And so far, like, I have not been let down. Any games that I have that are on Xbox, the original Xbox, they're all rendered in 4K. Every single one that I've played is rendered in 4K. Like, I get 4K visuals on my Xbox Series X. When it comes to you know, like 360 games, those are a lot more hit and miss. 360 games, you're either going to get, you know, you're going to get 4K resolution on some of them, but you're going to get auto HDR either way for most of that. So 360 games are a little bit hit and miss. Xbox One games, some of them are getting upgraded to next gen. Some of them are just getting FPS boost and other quality of life enhancements like auto HDR and stuff. So either way you look at it, you're still getting value for games that you already own that are moving across your console generation. Like, this is great. Like, I love the way that Microsoft has taken the time to ensure that my purchases in their ecosystem are going to get touched up, whether it's hardware level enhancements or whether the developers are going to go back and enhance those experiences for us. Like, I'm grateful. I'm happy. I have never felt this positive about a console ever in my life. Like, I've never felt this I've never felt this sense of like, you know, like, wow, you know, like I'm just like I'm truly impressed with just how exciting and great this is, because as gamers, if we were on PC gaming, we wouldn't be paying for any upgrades either. So the fact that Microsoft is willing to make their ecosystem closer to the PC experience, that's amazing. Like, that's amazing, guys. Like, I really appreciate Microsoft going out of their way to enhance these experiences. But don't get me wrong, like, I do appreciate Sony upgrading those titles as well. And the fact that they're charging for them, you know, it makes you have to choose. It really does. It makes you have to choose. Instead of being able to just continue to enjoy that experience, now you have to choose, do you want a better experience, or are you fine with what you already have? And you're going to have to pay that money. And, you know, I don't believe that Microsoft giving out free upgrades is making us entitled by any means. Like, we've already paid for these games. They're ours. We should be entitled to these upgrades for free. If they add new content, yeah, dude, charge us for that new content. No problem. I do not have a problem paying for new content. I don't think anybody has a problem for paying new content. You are receiving content for the money that you're paying them to increase the longevity of your playtime with that game. Like, I see nothing wrong with charging for new content, but to charge us for upgrades for a system that they sold us, just to be able to take advantage of those of that system, like, to me, that's a little bit like, wow, man, really, guys, are we really going that low? Like, I've been a Sony guy for a long time, like since PlayStation 1, man. I bought the PlayStation 1, and from then on, like, I've been a PlayStation guy. There were so many good quality content games that got me through my life, you know, from 14 on the PlayStation ecosystem. Some of my favorite games, like Symphony of the Night, you know, I mean, like, these games have been there for me for a long time. You know, I go back and, yeah, like, it's just, I mean, I like Nintendo and I like the Nintendo experience, but not, I mean, I like my Mario games. I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for Mario, like Zelda and some of the other Mario titles, or some of the other Nintendo games, but as it moved forward and I started growing up, Nintendo just kind of became more of a back burner thing. Xbox was there throughout my life, but nowhere near as prominent as PlayStation. I think the end of PlayStation, I don't know. Like, Sony has always been there, and they've always, you know, put out their console and then had to iterate throughout the whole generation to finally get us to a point where the console's great, and then, like, they bring it out in their bare bones again, and then we got to wait for them to iterate and bring all the features back to us again. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy with my Xbox ecosystem this generation, you know, throughout the last generation. Like, Xbox is turning a page, guys. I'm really rooting for Xbox this generation. I still love my PlayStation. I'll still continue to cover PlayStation, and I will still continue to pay the fees and prices for the PlayStation content, because I enjoy my PlayStation content still. But on the other end, you know, Microsoft is winning Microsoft has basically won my third-party support. So basically anything I buy on PlayStation is either going to be discounted third-party games when they're cheap enough to pick up, and my first-party experiences. So yeah, that's kind of where it sits. I just wanted to, get this out today because I'm truly happy that these experiences are being upgraded, and I want people to know and understand that this is a good thing for the gaming community. Like, this is amazing. Yes, in some ways it does make Sony look bad, but at the other end, like, Sony's the market leader. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for 5 generations now, and I think they're going to be just fine, whether they start giving out free updates or not. That PlayStation's going to be just fine, and people are still going to continue to pay for that content, just because Sony makes good content. At the end of the day, Sony does make some of the best, looking content ever, and some of the better story games. So, yeah, that's not saying that Microsoft is not growing, because I mean, they are. Like, I still enjoy the Microsoft experiences, and I like how the Xbox ecosystem is a lot more consistent. On PlayStation games look freaking amazing. Other third-party games look nowhere near that. So the generation is usually, kind of lopsided and stuff. You got really good games, that look amazing on PlayStation 4 Pro, but then you have games that we're barely hitting 1080p. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the way that Xbox has taken the Xbox ecosystem, and I'm definitely rooting for them. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.